Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Buga. In the name of the Almighty God, the most gracious and most merciful, I send peace and blessings to everyone. I would like to thank everyone for being here today, because there are so many places where you could be right now, but always sacrifice your precious time and you make sure that every Wednesdays and every Saturdays, 9 p.m. East African time, that you attend our Utrading global sessions that we always have in the English language, because these are global sessions, and for the interest of every member understanding what we explain here, that is why we use the English language. And the most amazing thing is, these sessions, however much, they are recorded in the English language, because the Utrading community is a very big community. We have the French-speaking people, we have the German-speaking people, and other languages. That is why we have a team of Mr. Buga and Mr. Joshua who ensure that our technical sessions are always recorded. And after recording these sessions, we ensure that these sessions are uploaded on our YouTube channel of Coach Ssebadduka Arafat. And when these sessions are uploaded on this YouTube channel of Coach Ssebadduka Arafat, YouTube has a feature called captions. The captions feature of YouTube can help you to translate the English language to any language of your preference. For your information, I think let me show that a little bit before even we proceed. YouTube has a feature called the captions feature on any video. So if you come to my YouTube channel, or for example, any video that I've uploaded, simply I'm just going to take an example to click on this random video to show you the captions feature. So hopefully my screen has not stopped sharing. Are you still seeing my screen, Mr. Buga? Okay, thank you. So here on the upper right, we have that setting icon that you see on the upper right. If you click on it, it will show you the captions as the third option. If you click captions, you can see we have the second option, English auto-generated. If you just click on the second option, no, come back to captions, click the third option, auto-translate. If you click there, they'll bring you different languages, meaning that if you have a friend, but the friend speaks Arabic, speaks Chinese, understands Dutch, French, Germany, Hindi, Indonesian, Italian, Japanese, Korean, the Portuguese language, the Russian, the Spanish, the Thai, the Ukrainian, and the Vietnamese, the people can watch my video in any language. Now, for example, let us choose Japanese. If I click on this video, then we go to the question. The captions, you will see me speaking in English, but the captions will be generating another language. So you can change to any other language, for example, French, choose any language. Here on the screen, you'll start seeing what I'm explaining in the preferred language. So make sure let not anyone miss out in the world understanding the Utrading technical sessions. Because a reminder, Wednesdays are Utrading technical sessions, where we understand more about the Utrading application, generally to master how we can trade the cryptocurrency market in a profitable way and more convenient way using the artificial intelligence. So before we go into our session, I really had something to explain to you or to talk about tonight before we go into the presentation. Because as I always tell you that whenever you see Coach Ssebadduka Arafat on any session, expect two things. You expect to get your money's worth and time's worth. And you get all of that by understanding the three financial money rules, which are very important, where we learn how to make the money. Secondly, we learn how to multiply or to make the money. Lastly, we learn how to keep the money, which are very important things. And to remind you, I said that, and I'll keep on saying that, apart from talking about God, there is no better topic to focus on and talk about better than money, because money is part of life. Everything that we need requires money. To be a good dad, to be a good daughter, to mention it all, to be a good person in general, money. When money is involved, definitely that makes you a good dad at home. When your children see you coming, they know dad has come back. He has brought me something. Dad is going to give me some money, things like that. The same applies if you're the mother, if you're the daughter, if you're the son, if you're the uncle, if you're the aunt. I won't take very many minutes to emphasize the importance of money, because I'm sure each one of us on this call understands how important money is in our day-to-day lives. The word today that I want to share with you, that I got a chance to also see on my Twitter handle, is billionaires lose millions to become billionaires. Millionaires lose thousands to become millionaires. Thank you very much, Mr. Muhammad Abdallah, for following on TikTok and commenting. Thank you very much. Broke people want to lose nothing but want to be rich. There are very many people who have such fantasies. They do not want to put in any effort, but they want to live a good life. Very many, you can give an example on yourself. There are very many people that admire your life, but they can't wake up the same time that you wake up. They can't sleep the time that you sleep. They can't put in the efforts that you're putting in. And really, they also want to make it. I always tell my dear friends that there is no shortcut for success. You always have to pay a price. That is the fact. If this happened with Jesus Christ, if this happened with Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, you won't be spared. They also had to endure the challenges of rejection. They were beaten, they were abused, they were mocked, they were chased away from societies. But that was the price they had to pay for Christianity and Islam to be strong as they are. So there is no shortcut. So nobody builds anything big without making mistakes. Someone is asking me what I'm talking about. Yes, we are talking about, this is a Utrading technical session. So we are learning on how we can profitably and conveniently trade in the cryptocurrency market using the artificial intelligence. So lastly, they've told us that nobody builds anything big without making mistakes. For us, our tendency here is that before we go into our sessions, we first get a word of wisdom, because that is very important. Like how we bathe our bodies every day, also the word for the soul is very important. So after understanding this, let me open my Utrading application. Previously, in our episode 14, because for your information, this is episode 15 of the ultimate Utrading technical session. This means that we have previously had episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, until the previous episode of episode 14. So right now, we are having episode 15 of the ultimate Utrading technical session. And here we are going to proceed with the different categories one can use to profitably and conveniently trade the cryptocurrencies using the Utrading artificial intelligence. Don't forget that we are looking for convenience, because the generation that we are in, convenience is very important in all aspects of life. We see that even now we have online churches, online classes, online mosques. I no longer need to go to the mosque to hear the sermon. The same thing applies to the church, and the same thing is happening in our businesses. That is how life has changed. Arafat, I can communicate with Mr. Buga when Mr. Buga is not within the same country like me. When we are not physically, we can interact virtually. So it is the same thing with trading. You don't need to do the technical analysis to trade, maybe like how Arafat does, because some people, God has blessed us that we can trade by ourselves, and also we can trade using the AI. But really, unless someone wants to gain that lifetime skill, or you want to be knowledgeable, there is not that much need to go into the manual trading, yet you can use the AI at your convenience without requiring any efforts. So now we lastly talked about a cryptocurrency category known as payments. Previously, we looked at the payments. So tonight, we are going to proceed with the different categories. Why am I taking this time to explain the categories? Because I believe, as me and other traders that I know, that once you understand something, you understand the different varieties, then you make a personal choice based on what is best or what you prefer. Because it is like saying that mainly we have three categories of phones. Imagine someone sits you down, explains to you all the pros and cons, the advantages and disadvantages of a Technophone. The person does the same thing to explain to you the pros and cons of a Samsung phone. Also, the person does the same thing to explain to you the pros and cons of an iPhone. Then after listening to all that, you make a choice. Someone will say, I prefer a Techno phone. Someone will say, I prefer Samsung phone. Another person will say, I prefer an iPhone. It is the same thing with these categories. After explaining them, you'll have chosen what category you prefer to trade because of your reasons. So now the category that we are going to explain tonight, it is called infra. Infra is an abbreviation for infrastructure. Infra is an abbreviation of infrastructure. And tonight I told you members that we are going to use Google, the most trusted search engine. But also here tonight, we are going to be using ChatGPT. Why? Because Google at times gives us complex definitions that might make it hard for some people even to understand when it has explained. So we are going to get explanations from ChatGPT, and then we go into more details with the Google, because Google is good at giving the examples. So now I'm going to search. Define, by the way how you ask questions matters. That is why we can all ask Google or ChatGPT the same question, but we get answers that are slightly or even way different. Why? Because the way how you ask it is different. It is like coming, maybe, let me give an example on me. It's like coming to Arafat, and for example, you just come out of the blue and say, Arafat, I want you to do this in a commanding language. Really? You haven't even asked me, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You're just like ordering me around Arafat, do this. Really? But if you tell me, good morning, Arafat, how are you? Hopefully you're doing well. Arafat, I am kindly requesting you to do this. It means out of respect, not just sending a mere message. Arafat, claim this you guys for me. Arafat, do this for me. I'll do it. Personally, I will do it because that is me. God has blessed me on how I handle different situations. But that is not the right approach. And you'll find out that if you go further with the conversations, maybe I may not give you the special attention, or I may not answer you in a best manner, because also how you have approached me. But if someone approaches in the right way, definitely I'll do big things. I'll go extra miles for that person. The same thing applies to these search engines. So now when you're asking questions, it's best when you say define cryptocurrencies that are found. Hopefully, Mr. Buga is still together, found within. Thank you very much. Within the infrastructure crypto category. Don't forget that we are going to use the Google for examples. Then we are going to use ChatGPT for the brief and clear answers, because that is very important. So if you do not have ChatGPT, simply go to your Google Play Store, those that are having Android phones and Samsung phones. Those with iPhones, go to your App Store and install ChatGPT. So now we are going to use the answers of ChatGPT because I found them very easy for people to understand. Then for more details, we are going to be going to Google. Don't forget that slow but sure. The reason why we are here is don't me to rush you through these things. Even if we learn one thing tonight, it's enough because you'll have added something on your crypto knowledge and your mastery of your trading. The journey will be moving at the right pace. So they tell us that the infra, which is an abbreviation of the infrastructure, they tell us that the infrastructure crypto category refers to cryptocurrencies that build and support the core systems of blockchain networks. These are the backbone projects that enable other applications like DeFi. We say DeFi means decentralized finance. Then NFTs, non-fungible tokens, gaming, and many others to exist and function. Meaning that without the infrastructure, projects like the decentralized finance, the NFTs, they can't exist and function. That shows the importance of the infra cryptocurrencies. And Google makes it very clear because if I come here, Google gave a clear example. I want to see that example here. It explains something which I really liked. Let me see. Explain something that I really liked. Let me see. Okay. We shall get back to it when we are seeing the examples. Let us proceed with ChatGPT so that we finish. So now they tell us, instead of being end user applications, infrastructure coins provide the following. They provide the blockchains, they provide the smart contract platforms, the scaling solutions, data indexing, and interoperability between chains. So now let us come here to Google to get the clear examples, because again, within the infra or infrastructure cryptocurrencies, we have also other categories. So now, they're telling us that we have layer one and smart contract platforms. They tell us that these form the best blockchain networks where decentralized applications known as dApps Whenever you hear the term DAPPS in cryptocurrencies, that is an abbreviation for decentralized applications. So they've told us that these form the best blockchain networks where decentralized application or the dApps are built. They've given us an example for Ethereum, the foundational platform for decentralized finance, NFTs, and the decentralized applications. They've given us an example of Solana, abbreviated as SOL, a high-speed, scalable layer 1 blockchain, popular for decentralized finance and debt pin. So here we are seeing the examples of the infrastructure cryptocurrencies. So they're also giving us an example of Avalanche, abbreviated as AVAX. We are also seeing SUI. Then the second category under the infrastructure, we have what we call the decentralized physical infrastructure networks, or is abbreviated as DEPIN, DEPIN. It stands for Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Networks. And they're telling us that the DEPIN projects use tokens to incentivize users to build and maintain real-world hardware infrastructure. And they've also given us examples of Render, Helium, Akash, Filecoin. The examples are here. Then we are seeing the third category under infrastructure. We have oracles and data services. So the oracles bridge the gap between blockchains and real-world data, enabling smart contracts to function. They have given us an example of Link, Pipe, and GRT. Then the fourth category, interoperability and cross-chain bridges. These tokens facilitate communication and asset movement between different independent blockchains. They've given us an example of DOT, Atom, AXL, and ZRO. Then we have the scaling solutions, commonly known as layer 2. These enhance efficiency by processing transactions of the main blockchain, reducing fees and increasing speed. So each category has its main solution that it provides. Like you see, the layer 2 mainly are used for reducing fees in transactions and increasing speed of the transactions. And they've given us examples of ARB, the Polygon, and OP. So now that those that have been what we call the infra or infrastructure category of cryptocurrencies. And I like this disclaimer a lot, and let me also read it. Cryptocurrency investments are volatile. The information above is for informational purposes based on the 2026 industry tracking. What I like the most is this information is for educational purposes. Cryptocurrencies are volatile, as I always explain. But as I tell you, the volatility, that is where the opportunity is. Because volatility means they move up and move down. Those that do futures trading will benefit in two ways, whether the market has moved up or moved down. So now, let us go to another category of cryptocurrencies that we have under the markets in Utrading. So now we have what we call the seed. The seed. So also come to Google. Remember we are using Google and ChatGPT at the same time. So that ChatGPT gives us definitions that can easily be understood, and then Google to give us more details. so that are found within the seed. Here I'm just changing seed crypto category. Let me copy this so that we ask the same thing. Yes, Google has given us the answer. Make sure you also use these softwares. They're not only made for the coaches, that only Coach Arafat should use it. No. That is why we have these technical sessions to also show you where we also get the information from. Because we also don't know everything. Arafat, I don't know everything. That is why I also make the research to understand more things. So they're telling us that the seed crypto category refers to very early stage cryptocurrencies. Very early, meaning that those that have just been introduced, or blockchain projects that are still in development or just launching. These are the projects investors get into at the seed stage. Don't forget that the seed stage is the development stage or the growth stage. So they're telling us that these projects investors get into them at the seed stage before they become widely known or listed on major exchanges. Think of them like startup investments in crypto, high risk, but potentially very high reward. Now, this is where the importance of what I explained you last time comes in. If you can go onto the CoinMarketCap application, I think I talked about this in the Saturday presentation, but let me repeat it. This CoinMarketCap application helps you because if you are going to invest in a cryptocurrency and you are going to do it in the right way, this is the reason why people are losing thousands and millions of dollars. This is the reason. Because they do not use the CoinMarketCap application to do thorough research on a cryptocurrency that they're going to invest in. But tonight, those that are on this call, tonight, maybe 2 months from now, 1 year from now, anyone that will land on this video will never do that mistake again, to just invest in a random cryptocurrency without doing mainly the fundamental analysis on it. Because here the CoinMarketCap, it helps you to do the fundamental analysis, the sentiment analysis, and the technical analysis. But mainly the fundamental analysis is very important because it gives you a roadmap where a cryptocurrency project is heading. That is very important. For example, we can randomly click on any cryptocurrency. For example, let me click on TON, the 17th cryptocurrency on this list. If you click on it, here up, if you scroll to the right, we have community, markets, keep on moving. We have the about page. That is very important. The about page helps you to understand about a cryptocurrency and its roadmap. People who invest in companies, people who invest in brands, people who invest in people know this. The wise investors take their time to do research. They don't just wake up one day and, for example, let us invest in this footballer named Lionel Messi. The Adidas companies don't just come out of the blue that now we are going to invest in Lamine Yamal. They invest in players like Lamine Yamal because of their potential. They see the vision, the way how Lamine Yamal is performing right now in football terms in world football. It is rare to see an 18-year-old performing at such a high level. It is like saying that when big brands invested in musicians like Justin Bieber in his early 20s, he was really a hot cake. You would bet any amount of money to invest in him to be under your management or under your brand because of the potential you see in him. And potential comes on what someone has done. You can't just see your potential by not doing anything. You must first do something. However perfect it can't be, because it won't be perfect in the start. But someone can sit down and say, Arafat is a good guy, but he lacks this. And someone says that, let me sign Arafat. If I improve this on Arafat, Arafat will become better in his way of presenting. That is it. The same applies here. So the about page will show you, but mainly take time and come here and read the white paper. If the cryptocurrency you have come to read about, it doesn't have the white paper, read the about. The about here is, take your time. This is your money, do not forget. Money is very hard to make, but it is very easy for the money to disappear completely. We all know this. So take your time, read the white paper, read the roadmap. Understand that it is very important. When you understand that, it will give you even more confidence. This is the reason why big companies like MicroStrategy, the man you always hear called Michael Saylor, this is the reason why he's investing in Bitcoin. He read the white paper of Bitcoin and he saw the potential of Bitcoin. That is why he has been betting, saying that for me, I'm going to buy Bitcoin every time I have the funds. People that don't just wake up all of a sudden. So if you want to really be a profitable crypto investor, and we're going to do long-term investing, use this page a lot. Coin market cap, go and read about the cryptocurrency, read the about page or read the white paper. Take your time because it's your money. Do not forget that you can't benefit from something you don't understand. You should know that. You might be lucky, but the luck won't be there every time. That is why generally very many people are registering failure in various businesses, even outside crypto. They think because I have $10,000, my business will thrive. At the end of the day, it fails. So now they've given us here examples. What are seed cryptocurrencies? These are tokens that one of the characteristics of seed cryptocurrencies are they are launched before public adoption. Like how even Bitcoin was introduced in 2009. Very few people knew about it. Those that knew doubted. Then they tell us that they often raise funds through private sales, seed rounds, or launch pads. They always have small market caps. Market caps means market capitalization. And market capitalization means the total worth of a cryptocurrency. The coin market cap shows this. The market capitalization, it's like saying that FC Barcelona is worth $2 billion. It is like saying that the Coca-Cola company, I'm giving an example, is worth $1 trillion. Also here, come and see. CoinMarketCap shows this. Bitcoin in the first position. Below it, it is worth 1.63 trillion. Bitcoin. That is the total valuation, the total market capitalization of Bitcoin. And someone thinks that Bitcoin is going to take away my money. It's going to scam me. It's a scam. Something which is valued at $1.63 trillion. What will your $1,000 do on this brand really? Check out Ethereum, $282 billion. You think it's a scam? Wake up, my dear friend. Your $10,000 are nothing to the $282 billion Ethereum cryptocurrency is. So now, let us come to Google to get some examples. It's very important. Google is good at giving us examples, then ChatGPT is good at making these things clear. So now Google is making this very clearly. The key characteristics of the seed category of cryptocurrencies are these: high risk and high reward. They offer potential for higher returns accompanied by greater likelihood of price volatility compared to established coins. If they talk about established coin, these are the layer 1 coins, the Bitcoin, the Ethereum, the Solana, the BNB. That is what they mean by the established cryptocurrencies. So what do they mean? Let me give you a clear example on the Utrading platform. Let me change the 24-hour change. I want to show you cryptocurrencies under the seed that have appreciated the most today and that have depreciated the most. But look, today the highest coin at the top, called IO, under the seed category, it has appreciated by 20, it's 25 roughly, 25%. This first coin, it has appreciated by 25%. But let us take an example on these coins like Bitcoin. You're going to see. Okay, let us take Solana. Bitcoin today is down. Solana has appreciated by 3%. Yet a seed category has appreciated by 25%. What does this mean? If you have been an investor or the trader, and the trader has said, or the trader placed a long position on Solana, and Solana has moved 3%, that means that trader has made $30 today in the established coin. But the seed coin, because it has high risk, high reward, we have seen an IO, the cryptocurrency called IO, under that category of seed coins, it has made 25%, $250 today. Where Solana has made $30, a seed coin has made $250. But as they've said, it is high risk, high reward, because if it was the opposite, if you placed a long position on Solana, a short means that you're predicting Solana to move down. But Solana has moved up by 3%. You'll have negative 30. It will be negative 30. But someone with a seed coin, which has made 25% positive, yet you said it will move down, you'll have negative 250. So you need to be aware of that. That is where we have these technical sessions to explain. If the market moves against you, because in our strategy, for example, let me show you my trades. My trades, like you see my trades, the market has moved against me because this is a $5,000 account. But if you look at my floating loss, or the annualized profit and loss is negative 295. You'll find out someone trading seed coins, his floating loss or her floating loss is negative 1,000. Because minimally your floating loss will be like times 3 mine. Me, I'm trading established coins, you're trading the seed coins. But don't forget that the same applies. Where you see me have made like almost $1,000 here in green, the total profit. You'll find someone with seed coins has made $3,000. So you should have that in mind. High risk, high reward. I'm not saying that you shouldn't trade them. You should trade them, but when you're cautious. So meaning that if you are new into the trading industry, you do not have vast experience, I wouldn't recommend you to trade the seed cryptocurrencies, because you need to first go step by step. First learn from the main ones. With time, you'll progress. You'll progress. Because if you start by losing, it will be a bad impression. That is why I always tell people, take your time. What will it help you to just come into the industry? You lose $1,000, you lose your investment. At least start small. Let your $1,000, even if they make $50 every month. But when your capital is still there and it is growing, it is motivating rather than losing money. You'll be demotivated. So now another category, and it's going to be the last category in our episode 15 of the ultimate trading technical session. It's the game. So again, come to Google, the most trusted search engine. Oh, we haven't finished this, by the way. Before we proceed, let me first complete these characteristics of the seed cryptocurrencies. Then they're telling us that early stage development. they are oftenly launched or listed, reflecting a project in its infancy. Infancy means in its early stage. So they're telling us that lower liquidity, these tokens often have lower trading volume, making them more sensitive to large buys or sell orders. This is very important. Oh my God. Thank you very much that I remembered so that we never proceeded. Now look at this. Are you seeing the seed cryptocurrencies? What do they mean by the volume? The volume is here. You see now the coin called IO, the 24-hour volume, the money that is traded within it, it's $57 million. Then we see another one. Oh, let us just, proceed with this one. Let us just proceed with this. But now see, Tone has 479 million. I think this one at least has some. Now you see JTO 35, this one having even $2 million being traded in 24 hours. These are peanuts if we go into Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now this one, $2 million. See another one, $1 million. Now are you seeing most of them? The money, now see this one. PHA, the 24-hour volume is just $398,769. They're even in thousands. This is very little money compared if we come to the big cryptocurrency. So now let me bring you back to, come to layer 1, layer 2, the main ones, the strong ones, to show you the 24-hour volume. Look at Bitcoin. $6 billion has been traded in Bitcoin currently in the 24 hours. $6 billion. That is why they have said under this, under the what? The lower liquidity, they have said that you will see large buy or sell orders affecting the seed coins. Because now, traders, they're big traders that they're always called whales. Whenever you hear a whale, that is a big trader. People trading with $1 million and above. Now, if someone really comes and this seed coin is just being traded with with what? Let us go with this gun. It's just being traded with $1.23 million. And someone puts $1 million for gun to go down and says a short position. Gun will be down because the person will have placed a big order, $1 million, can really shake the market of that cryptocurrency because it's small. Also look at this FF. Someone with $1 million can disrupt its market. The coin that has been up and it goes down, that is what you always see with cryptocurrencies. I know you have seen these graphs. A cryptocurrency has been going up. Maybe it has been at $10. All of a sudden, it goes to $0.1 or 0.05. This happens. That mainly happens to cryptocurrencies with lower liquidity. But now come on Bitcoin. What will really your $1 million do on Bitcoin? Yet Bitcoin, the 24-hour volume is $6 billion. How will you shake the market of Bitcoin with $1 million really? Because this is a large market cap. This is saying like maybe a man is dating, maybe is going to vibe a daughter of a president or from a wealthy family. But that daughter is exposed to having $100,000 on the bank account. It is very normal. Then a boy comes with the enticing of spending $50, $10, we're going to this restaurant, $30. That won't move that girl. She's used to that money. The $50, the $100 you're going to spend on her, it's like peanuts. It won't move her. But if you find someone from the village, $10, $50, dinner can move her. She can say, Banang, I've met Arafat, my life is going to change. The boy has money. Arafat has a car. Arafat sleeps on the nice apartment. He has good furniture in the house. That can move someone who's not exposed But someone who's exposed can't be moved by those things because they're used to them. Having iPhone 17, it's normal. You won't brag that I'm going to get you iPhone 11. She will say, what the fuck is that? iPhone 11? She's exposed to iPhone 17. She has traveled countries. She has been to the Dubai. The Dubai trip won't make her faint. That because Arafat has promised to be Dubai, that it's something that hasn't happened. So exposure is very important. This has also been with the seed, lower liquidity, it can move. So now we have the foundational nature. Many are closely tied to new blockchain ecosystems, specialized in the decentralized applications or novel utility cases. So they've given us examples which you can also read through. So mainly also these seed coins are the coins that are being delisted. Mainly, they have high chances of being delisted. Delisting, let me define it once again. I always talk about it. Delisting is a process where cryptocurrencies are being permanently removed on crypto exchanges as a result of failure to meet the standards to serve the general crypto users. That is why they are delisted. You no longer meet the requirements. You don't have a clear roadmap where the project is heading. You don't have a clear utility case. If people hold your cryptocurrency, what is really special in it? Or what is it going to be used for? If that is not there, they are delisted. And I always give an example that every country has a department in the government that also oversees the products that come within our countries. If they find out that this bread type, the bread does not meet the standards to be consumed by the citizens, that bread type can be permanently removed from the market of the consumers. We see this with companies. You see this with companies like Tesla. They make some models of Tesla cars, but they find issues with them. Then they recall all the cars they made, that we need to change this. Because the cars, maybe they had an issue which might really cause harm to people's lives. So that is also delisting. Because also these crypto exchanges like Binance and others, they really consider and care about the users. That is very important. And why do they care? This is the reason why they care as I'm finishing. If you go to CoinMarketCap, let me show you something. We are going to scroll here. We have trending, watch lists, overview, exchanges. Let me click exchanges to show you something. Okay, this is just spot. In just spot trading today, see, on Binance, people have traded $12 billion in spot trading in the last 24 hours. Someone with such a big entity, a big brand, is protecting the users and definitely the brand name. Because if Arafat, I buy a cryptocurrency and it misperforms. For example, I've invested $1,000. Then all of a sudden, a cryptocurrency goes to zero. Why I invested $1,000, I see zero. Definitely, I will lose. I will lose trust in Binance. That is why they protect their brands and the users to do the delisting. And before they delist, they inform the users. We all receive these messages that we are going to delist this cryptocurrency on this date and time. They tell us, and they advise us to withdraw funds. Because after their technical team sits down to see that the future of this cryptocurrency is not right, they pull out the money. It is like saying that if you know that in this country, a war is going to happen in the next 2 months, and you have your businesses there, and you get to know that, what will you do? Obviously, you will shift, because that will affect you if the war finds you there. It is the same thing here. The crypto exchanges inform us, like Binance, Arafat, we are going to delist this cryptocurrency pair, sell it. It means it saves you from losing it all. Because most of them, when they're delisted, imagine the Binance users losing trust in you and you're delisted. Your cryptocurrency has very high chances of not succeeding. Because you have left the people who trade over $12 billion every day. Do you know what that means? How many banks trade that money? How many global banks trade $12 billion in a single day? I can task you to even mention 5 or to look for 5 and you fail to get them. That shows you that people are trading crypto. So if you have been in this thing and maybe you're still kidding around, maybe you're attending calls to say, let me be there for the sake of Coach Arafat, because I'm his friend, he will see it in a bad way if I've not attended. My dear friend, you should wake up. That is why you see some people are so passionate and persistent on this. $12 billion. We have seen Bitcoin people have traded $6 billion. I even don't know how more I can emphasize this, but it's enough to give us a clear picture. So for today, allow me to stop here. And in our episode 16 of the Ultimate Utrading Technical Session, we shall be going further to explain other crypto categories, their pros and cons, as we always do, because the reason why we have these technical sessions, so that you also understand this information, you gain the mastery, you can also explain it to others, because this information is not meant to be kept by us. So as always, if we have some questions, 1 to 2 questions, before we call it a night, do we have any question? You can put your question in the chat room, or you can unmute your microphone to ask the question. People that on the TikTok live, thank you very much for joining. I really appreciate everyone. So do we have any question, people that on the Google meeting? Any question concerning you trading or cryptocurrencies?
Yes, coach.
Yes, please ask.
Thank you for all the information you provide to us. Coach, I'm asking if we trade Class A coins, assume a friend has traded a coin which is not in Class A, and that coin is going to be delisted, and he's still having it, and Binance warns him that that coin is going to be delisted. What could be the solution?
Yes, Mr. Abdallah, thank you very much for attending and thank you very much for the question. So if you're trading a cryptocurrency, because that is a very good question, I've seen it with very many members, you're having a running coin, and at times the most unfortunate thing, you can find that coin even having floating loss. For example, it can have negative 50, that if you close it, you lose $50. But if a crypto exchange tells you it's going to delist, you should right away stop that cryptocurrency in your trades. Whether it's in a loss or profit, you stop it. And then go onto your crypto exchange to confirm if it's being sold. It's very important. Because at times I've seen this. For example, those that trade in spot, you can be having a cryptocurrency, for example, called ARB, and they tell you they're going to delist it. And you stop it from the Utrading bot, and it stops. Because there are 2 ways on how to stop a coin. You can stop it in Utrading and order it to just stop and not to sell itself. So you have to make sure that when you have stopped it in Utrading, you go to your crypto exchange to confirm whether it's not among the coins you're having on your spot wallet. Because in futures, when you stop, automatically it's being turned into USDT. it's sold right away. So if you're having it in spot, you have to confirm that. Go into your crypto exchange, convert it in USDT, sell it no matter. Because you'll find out yourself that maybe you would have solved yourself. Maybe you invested, for example, $1,000 in it, but they're going to delist it. You can get $800 from it, but you fail to do that with the time. Because when this information comes, it's like saying that when they say, it's like saying that, which example can I give? It's like saying that, a school, we're having a school where we are all have been taking our kids, but they say that that school is going to be closed in 2 months. The ministry, for example, of Uganda said, it means that very many parents are going to start moving away kids from that school. So the earlier you do it, the better, because if you delay, the school might not return your money that you paid. So it is the same thing here, because the more you delay, the lower money you get. The moment where you would have gotten $800, you might do it later and you get $500, because when it's being delisted, people are getting a bad impression. Only people get bad impression. They're selling it massively. That is why delisted coins, you can find a coin that has been at $100. When Binance says we are going to delist it, it goes like to $30 or to the $20, because the big investors and the holders are on Binance who trade with large volumes. So you stop it right away and ensure that it has also been sold on your crypto exchange if you are dealing with spot, in order to save yourself from making big losses. So that is why it is recommended trade coins that have been approved by your crypto coach. Make sure you consult. As you also learn, make sure you consult from an expert. Is this coin good to trade? That is why I advise people who want to do spot trading, if you do not want to have headache, trade Bitcoin. If you want to trade or hold for the bull run, trade or buy Bitcoin. Ethereum, Solana, BNB, XRP for your peace of mind. I told you members that at times it's good to pretend to be foolish, because the more at times you pretend to be wise, at times things can backfire. And if you have a privilege that you can ask some people and they respond, need to make sure that you take great advantage of that. Because some people, I can't blame them. Some people take risks because they don't get answers from the people they have to get the answers from. No wonder some do the mistakes. But if you have that opportunity, do not make the mistakes. That is why even God in the holy books, in the Holy Bible and Quran, said that the people that lived before him, sending the messengers and prophets, he would spare some of them who were doing good deeds, because some never got a chance to listen to Jesus Christ. Some never got to understand and listen to the message of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. But Arafat, what excuse do I have? My dear friend, what do you have? Which excuse do you have? Though we never lived with Jesus or Prophet Muhammad, but even right now, their teachings, we can learn them, we hear them and understand them. Really, which reason will you give God? So now that is it. So for the interest of time, allow me to stop here. Yes, Coach Daniel, thank you very much for appreciating. Yes, may the Almighty God ease and bless everything for every one of us. Let's meet Saturday, 9 p.m. East African time, in our cryptocurrency, the introduction to cryptocurrencies and the Utrading artificial intelligence robots. So make sure, if you have anyone, your friend, your relative, that you would like to understand about crypto and Utrading, and trust me, this is the best session for beginners. No one has ever attended our session for beginners and failed to understand and get started with Utrading and cryptocurrencies. So I wish you a great night. Let's meet on Saturday, the same time. Have a great night.